You're entering a no judgment zone. The following show is real and raw, and everyone is encouraged to speak their mind. This is the Immigrant Experience, a program we hope will have an impact on the future of newcomer immigrants and Canada at large. An open platform, one that welcomes everybody. This is the Immigrant Experience. And now your hosts, Emmanuel and Ruben.
Hello soccer fans, and welcome back to our World Cup special edition, and we are going to be looking at our predictions from the group stage, what we got right. I'm sure if you watched our previous video on our World Cup special edition, you can tell that we got a lot of our predictions right from the teams that we said we're going to qualify to the group stage. Well, we looked at Group A, Senegal and Netherlands. They edged out from the group stage as the group winners. Qatar, they did put up a good World Cup, but they failed to win any of their group matches. We look at Netherlands qualified pretty good in that group. Senegal did lost their opening game against Netherlands, but winning the remaining two by comfortably by two goals margin to 2-1, I think, to make it through their groups. They beat Qatar 3-1 and they beat Ecuador 2-1. So Senegal made it through the group stage, and they're facing England in the knockout stage. So that was a very interesting match as well. While in the English group, you saw USA made it through with England from their group stage. USA didn't lose any of their group stage games, and they made it through along with England, and the USA made it in second place. That group was very politically charged, the games, and you could see how the games meant just more than football on the pitch, with Iran and Wales in that group fighting for what they could. Wales is the only team in that group that went out with no victory, but with one draw and two defeats. But they did put up a really good fight in the tournament still. Iran did put up a good show after their first loss, but they couldn't make it through after losing their last game 1-0 to the US. We'll look at Group C. Group C, you saw USA, Poland, Argentina, Poland, Mexico, and Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia did start really strong in this World Cup, winning their opening game against the almighty Argentina with Lionel Messi on the field by 2-1, but did not make it through the group by failing to win any of the rest of their group games, which limited their possibility of qualification. Mexico left it late for the win, with just a win at the end against Saudi Arabia, and that was the only win Mexico had, so they failed to make it. We have Group D, France, that made it through with Australia. France did make it through from the group as group winners, but they did lose their last game to Tunisia. That was a shocker. Though France did rest most of their starting 11 players, but Tunisia did put up a really good show, but could not make it out from the group stage. So that was also another very interesting group and an interesting game at the end. Denmark failed to win any of their games, and Australia surprised everyone and made it through to the knockout stage. We'll look at the next group, which is just we have had lots of surprises in this World Cup. It has just been, the group stages has just been something we have not seen before, where we've had lots of ups and downs and lots of surprises pulling through from all these teams. We have Japan that made it through as group winners. No one saw that coming, beating both Germany and beating Japan beating Spain by 2-1 and beating Germany. these are very tough games, and no one saw Japan being able to beat these big European nations. But Japan did urge out, and Spain pulled out narrowly as the second place winners for this group. Costa Rica did have a single win against Japan, but it was not enough to see them through with only 3 points. That was a very tough group, as Spain and Japan had both equal points on 4. But I think they had to go through with the goal difference margin and all that for Spain to pull through. We'll look at Group F. Group F, which had Morocco, Croatia, Belgium, and Canada. Canada also came out from the group stage with 0 wins and 0 points. And like Qatar, those are the only teams that went out with a 0 win and 0 point in the tournament this year. Morocco did, though, come out as a surprise and urged as group winners in Group F over the almighty Croatia and Belgium, which is so much in a crisis, and everyone could clearly see that the Belgian team is aging out and it's struggling, and that was clearly evident by them failing to qualify from the group stage. Croatia did fight really hard to come out from that group, and Morocco, I think, are still the big surprise for this World Cup FIFA 2022. We'll look at the next group, Group G, which has Brazil, Switzerland, Cameroon, and Serbia. That was a very interesting group, as Brazil urged out as group winners already after winning 2 of their first opening games. Switzerland had to win to make it out from that group. Cameroon, that was a very open group. Cameroon did pull out a big surprise and a very big win for Africa and for football as a whole. They made history, being the first African team to beat Brazil in the World Cup, and being the only African team still to beat Brazil in 3 different tournaments, both the Confederations Cup, the Olympic Cups, and the World Cup. That is history in the making, though Cameroon failed to qualify to the knockout stage, but they left the tournament with their heads held high. They didn't succeed in taking the cup, but there's a lot of promise looking forward in the future. We'll look at Group H, and I do appreciate the work which you could see Samuel Eto'o and Rigobert Song are doing to revamp this team, which has gone through lots of crises over the years. We'll look at Group H, which has Portugal and South Korea going through to the knockout stage. South Korea did shock Uruguay and Ghana. Ghana did have a really good shot at qualifying after picking up 3 points with that famous win over South Korea. But they did fail to win, as history did repeat itself, unfortunately, for the Ghanaians, as the only player from the 2010 incident which saw Ghana lose to Uruguay in the 2010 FIFA World Cup quarterfinal through Asamoah Gyan missing the penalty shootout. This time it was Andre Ayew who missed, and this greatly impacted the Ghanaian mindset, and you could see that and how it played into the game. And Ghana had to make quick changes during the break, bringing off the Ayew brothers, but I think considerably it was too late to remedy anything from that situation. And we saw Ghana lose, and then we had the group stages, which started playing off after that. The group stages started really well and with so much energy, with so much anxiety for these teams to go through. We're going to look at our predictions now for the group stage, and we'll tell you those we think are going to make it out from the knockout stage, rather. So we have Netherlands versus the USA. Well, we have seen that game pulled through already. Netherlands did beat USA by 3-1. That was a very good game. the Dutch did have lots of quality in the open play and in the attacking play, which narrowed down the opportunity for the US. The US did put up a good fight, but was not enough to outpower or outcome or overcome the Dutch power of defense, attack, and midfield, which was just totally outclassed the US. We have Argentina versus Australia, which is the other game that played for the knockout stage. Argentina did beat Australia slightly by 2-1, and you saw the magical man Messi coming out again and popping up for his team and showing why he's a GOAT in the game of football. We are going to look at the other group games which are still playing and which are happening on Sunday. We have France versus Poland. Well, we've seen France, how good they have been so far in the tournament. And France has a lot of quality. They have Kylian Mbappe, who is just out of this world and has broken so much history already, as we saw him today becoming the all-time fastest, highest goal scorer in the World Cup with 9 goals behind, and Pele coming behind him now with 7. And that's a lot of history which is being broken. We know Kylian Mbappe comes from a rich Cameroonian family origin of Mbappe Lepe, whose father was a god, a Cameroonian football god, which was known in the past. And now you see his grandson coming up again and showing why the Mbappe name was so feared in football in Cameroon for so many years. We saw that he came out really strong, putting in some good goals and seeing him take his team through to the quarterfinals against Poland. Lewandowski did have a late penalty in that game. Lewandowski fought really hard for his team, but was still not enough to see them go through from these knockout stages. He did score a late penalty, which had to be retaken, but that gave them a chance to leave with something and not nil. And we saw England take on the African champions, Senegal. That was a very interesting game. Senegal did lose 2 of their key players in this game coming into it, both in Idrissa Gueye through a match suspension, and Sadio Mane, who had been ruled out through injury. And this greatly impacted the abilities of the Terenge Lions of Africa to create much impact into the game, and limited their attacking option, which we all saw how it did affect their play and leaving them with nothing to very little firepower. And Buba Diang and all the rest, they tried, but you all saw it was not enough to come up against the mighty English Lions of England, who have Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka, and all these powerful attacking players doing amazing. So England made it through to the quarterfinals, and they'll be facing France. That will be a very interesting one to see how that plays out. We have in the other knockout games coming up, we have Japan versus Croatia. Japan has shown a lot of energy so far in the tournament. Their defense has been amazing. Their transitional play during the breaks have been really good. I think in this one, Japan versus Croatia, Croatia has much deeper dynamic in play through the midfield and know how to keep the ball and manage the game over a long period of time. And this is something Japan has also proven, and proven it with much strength. And I would love to see how this plays out. But I think Croatia is going to come out on top of this one over Japan. And then we have Brazil versus South Korea. That's another very interesting game. Brazil did rest their squad against Cameroon, putting in some of their players that had not have any playing time, but you did see that they were still very fresh and ready. But I think in this game, Brazil will have the urge over South Korea making it through to the quarterfinals. Then we have on Tuesday Morocco versus Spain. Morocco is the African flag bearer in this tournament, and for the Arabs as well. And you can see everywhere you go so far in the World Cup, you hear about the Moroccan fans. You see a Moroccan fan everywhere because Moroccan team is just, it has all that dynamics and chemistry all put together, and could be our Africa and Arab surprise package for this World Cup. And we're all cheering for Morocco against Spain, and I think that Morocco will have an edge over Spain. But well, you never know, and we hope to see how that plays out. I would like to know your prediction about these games. You can go ahead and leave your prediction. Who do you think is going to win in a game like Morocco and Spain? Then we look at Portugal against Switzerland. That's another very interesting one. But in that game, I do think that Portugal has a deeper squad depth and has a better attacking play than Switzerland. And I think Portugal are going to come out on top to the quarterfinals. Then after that, we're going to have a few days of break. Then we are back with the quarterfinals of the World Cup. And the first game of the quarterfinals of the World Cup, I think, is going to be on Friday, the 9th of December, which will be Netherlands against Argentina. I'd love to see how that plays out. And I'd like to hear your predictions on the rest of these games. And on Saturday, the 10th, we have France against England. Please leave your predictions. Leave us know what you think about these games. And I'm sure that everyone, you're getting the adrenaline rush, seeing your favorite teams play, and what you think of the World Cup so far. I would like to get your feedback. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being a part of this amazing experience and a part of the show. Please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Immigrant Experience, a program we hope will have an impact on the future of newcomer immigrants and Canada at large. We hope you enjoyed the show, and if you did, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, hook up with us on Instagram at Anyo_2021. # the Immigrant Experience. See you guys next time.